Hello and welcome to the second ICF Slalom World Cup of the 2018 season. Krakow, Poland and the Canoe Center is hosting this weekend's event. This morning we've seen some semi-finals and now it's finals time. We're going to kick off in a couple of minutes with the C1 men. That's the 10 best athletes of the weekend. And then we go on to the K1 women class. So you see the channel, it's long, it's strong, it's fast. 280 meters long, a 5-meter drop, 15 cubic meters coming through per second and 12 meters wide. It's an artificial course built in 2003, updated in 2013, and the walls and the base are concrete, and clearly we do have some plastic bollards which can be moved hereabouts to put in some challenges. The challenges are numerous today. You can see the humidity, 60%. It might rain, may not though. 14 degrees, that's not correct for summer. It shouldn't be like that. We're all sitting in our coats. Anyway, we're going to talk you through the action. I'm Matthew Layton as always. Two guests today, Florence Mahu from Canada, Liam Smedley from Canada. Hello.
Hey.
Good day, everyone.
How are the conditions?
Not as great as yesterday. Yesterday was warmer, today a bit colder. Hopefully it warms up a little bit.
Yeah, quite a fast course out there in Krakow, to emphasize what Matt said. It's lots of standing waves and not a lot of holes, and we're seeing some times drop really fast, so it'll be interesting to see how much faster we go in the final today.
So this is the effective results from last week, which was first World Cups. You see the standings where there's a scaled point system right down to 20th, 30th place. And these are the top athletes at the moment. Sidious Tassiadis, who won last weekend. He also is in the final today. These are the athletes we're going to, no, Sidious missed out, sorry. These are the athletes we're going to be looking forward to seeing today. Mate Benes, he looked like he wasn't going to make it, but sneaked through at the last minute. The Brits were incredibly impressive, with David Florence putting in a time that a lot of people say it's going to be very difficult to beat. What you can crucially see there in the last hour or so, the breeze has certainly picked up. And there's quite a few, looking here out of my window here, quite a few of the poles are really swinging. So Mate Benes, Olympic medalist, generally good, big, strong guy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does, because, you know, finishing 10th in the semi-final, you never know what can happen in the final afterwards.
So Liam, talk us through what we're seeing at the moment. A lot of the athletes in the first round took out gate number 1 or number 2. I guess they're learning from their experience.
Yeah, we saw a lot of touches in the semi-final with only about 6 or 7 athletes going clean. Yeah, Matej is usually a pretty clean athlete. We're seeing him come through the top really smoothly. Sometimes top piece is harder for the right-sided paddlers, and it usually balances out by the bottom. And so once they've had that first semi-final, they're a lot more comfortable. So we're seeing them much smoother on this run. Really tight through 10 and high into 11. That's going to be, he just caught a lot of time there.
But he's one of those guys that almost when he wants to win, he can win. He's
Absolutely.
So good.
Also a strong wild water athlete, and he pushes down the entire course at a pace that few can match. But David Florence is maybe one of them, so we'll have to see who pushes hardest.
Yeah, Matt is unique. In the recent World Water Championships, he was competing last year in Po. He was competing in the slalom and the wild water. Obviously needs everything in his life.
Yeah, definitely a competitive athlete. Coming through really strong. He's just been smooth. Not too many comments because this whole run has come together really smoothly. He's into the last upstream and he's out. Here we go.
This is so good, isn't it? Because we actually didn't see this at all. And he just put forward an sensational time, and that could well be a podium run.
Yeah, for sure. Clean run, on the lines everywhere, looking very smooth.
I'm sure he's
yeah, one of the fastest time today.
Yeah, we said, wow, David Florence was 83.89, and Matej just come in slightly behind it. Well done. That's great to help the others think about something coming down.
It's always a good feeling coming in that 10th position to make the final. You get one more try at the course. I think that's one of the things you want to get at most, is just go a little faster. So I'm sure he's...
Anyway, you can see the poles are starting to blow a bit. I mean, clearly it's an outdoor sport and you're used to it, but it's not much fun, is it, when you have to... You've got this extra X factor to negotiate in.
Yeah, for sure. It's much harder when the poles are not still, and you also have to manage that.
I think one of the key things there a lot of athletes will apply is sometimes you have a really detailed plan of the whole course. You visualized every gate, and the wind starts to pick up, and you sort of have to let a little bit of that detail go and just sort of go with the flow, take each one gate at a time, and it's what's necessary for the sport.
So France is well represented today with Cédric Joly, who is a ex-junior world champion, been on the scene now in the seniors for 2 or 3 years, made it to the French team this year, and let's see how he can go.
Yeah, second final in a row. Let's see what he can pull up today.
Much different build to Mathieu Benesch, so a lot lighter, smaller, more compact.
Yeah, opted for the spin in gate 2. Looked pretty fast.
Very dynamic paddler, fast stroke rate, looking smooth so far. Going direct through 7-8, that's smooth line. We're going to see how he comes up on the first split, just ahead.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Mattis was like the best of all time, and Cedric's just come and beaten it by 0.6 in the first run. So 10 athletes going down in the final. They've all been on this course about 2 hours ago. 30 athletes turned up this morning, and these are clearly the best 10. And he's really giving it a good performance, keeping the boat running.
Yep.
Crucially, he's coming through clean so far, it looks like, and that's going to be really important.
And still holding on to his lead.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of tight racing this weekend, so I think really staying off the poles and picking up the wide lines and carrying the speed of the boat is important.
And that's been a tricky section for the athletes. Quite a few have been not managing it or tying themselves up in knots. But this is the second really strong run of the day.
Yeah, a little tight on 22, but just coming into the finish, and looks like the bottom got maybe the best of them. I think that we saw Benouche's strength in his going from top to bottom 110%. He's really strong all the way through the bottom of the course, and it's hard to keep up to that.
There's a good crowd for conditions, which it shouldn't be right that the last day of June is only 14 degrees. There was a couple of weeks ago, it was 80 here, and I think even in England it's like double this amount of temperature. Anyway, we have what we have, as long as the rain stains off. Was it Wednesday night? We had a huge amount of rain. So second World Cup, last week we were in Liptovsky, next week we go to Augsburg, so 3 in a row, quite difficult to manage. Next is going to be the local, so expect some noise. He was one of the first to go, didn't think he was going to qualify and sneaked in at the last moment.
Yeah, Gregor is a really strong paddler, and we've seen him do some really fast lines here. I know that a lot of the athletes will come out during training to watch the Polish slot when they're training in Krakow, because you get to see that inside knowledge, and I think we might see a couple of those moves come out here in this final run.
Well, he knows the course certainly better than anyone else who's going to be competing today. Looks determined, ready to go. So this board behind you is the sliding ramp where the extreme canoe slalom is going to take place later. Let's see how he manages to, where he seems to be going off with a plan.
Yeah, this looks really strong at the start. He looks like he's got something to put down at the hometown World Cup, and be interesting to see if he's going to push the time even faster on the top.
Just missed out last time when he was 2015 World Cup was here. Looking to make up for it there.
Tricky move there in 7-8. There's quite the boil, so you have to commit to the direct, and sometimes you get on the edge a little. So he's just half a second off in the first split with that mistake, and
going direct here, a little bit low, but carrying the speed of the boat.
we saw some athletes opt for the bogey in 10 before, but it's looks like you'd have to do it really quick to keep up with the direct, and it'll be interesting to see how that balances out with the rest of the athletes.
Well, the whole of the Polish team plus the whole Polacek clan, who make boats about 120 kilometers from here, are cheering him down, but 1.23 off the pace. You can see it's long and it's strong, and the water's going very quickly here.
Yeah, the bottom of the course, you've got just standing waves running the whole way down, and you can't miss a turn on any one of them. Oh, just late there on 20.
Could be expensive 2 seconds because he was up with the pace.
Looks like another one on 21, and trying to push through and catch up that 1 second on the bottoms. Maybe just.
No. So he certainly gave it his all, but Matej Beniš, first to go of 10 athletes, is looking in a strong position.
Yeah, for sure. Laying down the first time.
You Canadians are tough, aren't you? Not even just a t-shirt, a singlet. There's Matej Polacek. Because there's about 15 kilometers from the centre of town here, so you don't stumble across this place by accident. You need to be trying to come here.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance with big whitewater courses. It's nice to have it's a big stadium, so it has to be out of the city, and it can hold a lot of people when the weather's nice, but looks like we've got some committed fans out today.
Let's hope the water level stays. There's been challenges because it's fed from a dam, so it's not hydraulic. It's just the dam opens up when we want it to be, and there's a couple of challenges yesterday, but so far so good today.
Yeah, yesterday made the day a bit longer with the water changing and having to do some reruns in the C1 woman category.
We just saw the Brit pack with Joe Clark, Richard Hounslow, who's retired last year, and now he's doing some coaching with Campbell Walsh, and obviously coaching Luca James. Casey Eichfield from the United States, poster boy for the 2014 World Championships, and let's see how he goes.
Our neighbor to the south is definitely someone I'm cheering on in this final.
Well, he really opens up on social media, doesn't he, about how he's feeling and how his journey is. Let's hope he goes well today.
Yeah.
3-time Olympian, I believe.
I think you're correct there. He's also been to Krakow earlier this season for a practice race to get up to speed for the World Cup, and I think he's seeing that work pay off for him here and moving fast through those first 6 gates, really confident.
Well, I think if you want to take on Beniš, you really have to give it a go.
Definitely. I think Casey's adopted that into his paddling style. He's really been on the front of the boat, pushing hard.
Half a second up.
It's paying off.
Oh, that's a bit. Lost a second to see there.
Pushing hard on the flat water part, trying to gain those seconds.
Sometimes there's so many ways you can get a little caught up with just sort of following the flow back and forth. But in this course, you have to really be on the front pushing hard.
Well, you can see he's lost a fraction, but still in touch. Matej Beniš, who came through in 84.56, was clear. So Jolly's second was clear.
Looking good so far in terms of clean run. Americans really loud on the sidelines.
As you'd expect.
Yeah.
You don't need to say on the sidelines. Well, moves into second place. That's not bad. Well, he clearly feels he left out something.
Had a really good, strong run. The bottom part.
Matej Beniš controlling his emotions. Next to Gay. Well, there's an asterisk next to Casey's name. It can't be good news because he was down as a clear. And it's come off, sorry. Next to Gay, world champion 2017, Benjamin Savchuk from the Tatson course. Remember seeing him win there for the first time 3 or 4 years ago now, and it really gave him the catapult I think he needed to really be consistent, and he has been amazingly consistent in the last few years.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's one of the most well-respected and fastest paddlers, almost always with the fastest raw time, and finally seeing him claim his world title last year, I think the whole crowd across all countries is actually pretty happy with that because he's so consistent.
Well, there's a couple of the Slovenians, 4 Slovenians, putting themselves into place to again cheer him down. They are in the green, very clear.
Have to watch the first split closely. He's such a smooth paddler. Sometimes you don't realize how much he's actually gotten up and how fast he's going. So wait to see.
Although he's the world champion, he's ranked number 2 because that's on last year's performances. Alexander Stakowski, who we're going to see later, is number 1. But let's see how Savchuk goes down today.
As always, blade in the water on the front of the boat, looking really smooth. opting for the spin in 7. Looking like not a lot of time is changing hands there. It's such a tricky piece of water in that eddy.
Good though, 0.85 up.
There's that time to get ahead you don't always see coming. He's just got the paddle in the water and moving fast.
Oh, you can't get much closer than that. There's actually someone standing right next to the board, so they really do have a close look. Sometimes the water hits and then would come off later. This is looking really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think this might be one of the first ones we're seeing to challenge Mate Benush.
Still
Right.
up on the split.
Really close, look at that.
It was really the bottom section where we're seeing the other 4 that have come down struggle to catch up to Mate, so this will be the test. Looking really good.
Well, it is to throw away. Can he keep it clean in the last 2 gates? As Peter Cowser down there nervously looking at the screen.
Here we go.
Oh, 900ths of a second out.
Tight race.
Clearly the athletes can see exactly the score because of the scoreboard once you cross the line.
I think that all of them also would have David Florence's time inside their head, kind of finishing across that finals line and knowing that, well, there's a little bit more time to be found there, so we'll have to see if Florence can put that down again. Really tight on the poles, really smooth, and it's what it takes if you're going to be that tight on each pole.
So let's hear from Matej Benush.
Matej, how was the race for you today?
My semi-final run wasn't very good and very fast, and I was a little bit surprised that I'm in the final, and the final was like pretty good run.
And what was the most difficult part for you today?
I think the under bridge, the gate 10-11, you can lose there a lot, and I risk it a little bit, and I was like, I'm okay with my run.
Okay, thank you very much.
So Matej Benush said he's okay with his run. That means it's a brilliant run. Next to go Michal Jane, who also on his day can put forward a winning run. So none of these athletes are going out for 6th or 7th place, are they? All capable of putting in the win.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, some of them we're seeing newer paddlers, younger paddlers, and some more experienced veterans that are more consistent, but really anyone in this final is able to take it.
3 Brits, Slavkovsky and Jane from the Czech Republic. All really, really talented athletes, different generations, some of them.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the depth of the British program coming through here in that final with those times being put down. And
how would you explain that? Is it cyclical, or is it just because they just have the best coaches, the most money, and the best course?
I think that depth goes such a long way, and actually these past few years they've had so many competitive C1s, including, Mark Proctor and...
Okay, so 3 years later, what can happen? Too late there, because there's no shortcut back from the Troya. You do your 300 meters and you have to walk up the track. Anyway, here he goes.
Again, a really smooth paddler, always keeping the blade in the water, and you're going to see him really unhinge on the offside strokes. Some of these crosses, it's one of his strengths, is you just think, when does his back stop rotating? So look for that 10-11 move, and we're going to see what option he goes for, but he's going to use his flexibility in a big way.
Look at that, half second up.
Opting for the bogey move, so he's doing sort of a upstream style move around the right pole of 10 to get really high into 11, and it's looking like he did it really smoothly, so I don't think any time lost there, and a really safe option. Wait for the bottom split to see if that really paid off.
Yes, it's still in there, so 0.4 to play with. The top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 athletes so far have not had any penalties.
Here we go, looking strong at the bottom. It's another consideration. You take one of the easier moves at the top, and you've got that extra push through this bottom, and looking really strong, coming through 22 just now.
It's going to be really close. Next to go, Brit, then Slovakia, then Brit, then Brit. Adam Burgess, very talented athlete. This year started well, taking the second place in the Europeans. Was a former under-23 world champion and big ambitions for the future.
Yeah, a really strong athlete, Adam, and one of the nicest guys on the circuit. Always smiling and passionate about his coffee just as equally as his paddling, and I'm sure he's had the
guys
best
are not
cup.
doing the crazy horse this year, though, I see.
Oh, we haven't seen it yet, but
Okay.
this may be the stage. May not want to overuse it with so many good performances.
Okay, that may be insider information from your point of view. Adam Burgess for Great Britain. Fourth last athlete to go, C1 final from Krakow. Magliani, we just saw him go down a second ago with 84.42. Still half a second slower than David Plon stepped down the same course about 2 hours ago on the semi-final. But this is a chance for Adam Burgess to show us what he can do.
We just saw a big smile from him on the start line, so it's going to be a fun course regardless of how it comes down. Smooth and composed through those first 3 gates. Looking really well adjusted for this final pressure.
Well, pressure's how you handle it, doesn't it? It can be extra excitement or completely crippling.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like he's handling it really well this year and through selections as well, so.
A little bit off the pace, though. Well, 200th of a second off the pace.
With such a tight leaderboard right now, it's not too much. Whoa.
Gone down a bit.
Caught a big edge on that wave and right at the bottom of the eddy for 11.
Well, that's 4 seconds on, maybe.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard to come back from in the bottom of the course where Matej was really fast. We saw him go direct in the 10, and he was willing to take that risk to make up the time. And with such a tight leaderboard, it's sometimes that's the necessary.
Not as bad as I thought. 2.75. However, it's very tight at the top with 0.23 covering the first 3 places.
If he can stay clean here and come out really fast at 21, then maybe he can catch up a second. Pushing hard now. British are going to have a workout running up and down, up and down.
I think they've kept it short because it's the parents of David Florence mainly, and I think they're going to keep their loyalties to their own boy. Well, I think he knows what he's done. Great run. Just one little unfortunate moment. There's Thomas Coughlin, who we saw here doing the commentary. Always happy, always smiling. It's great to see so many athletes are actually out there. You can recognise the countries, most of them, that have the national uniforms on.
Yeah, I think that was a really actually solid run through 21 of the 22 gates, and just one big mistake can cost you so much time, and it's hard to, it's easy to be satisfied with mostly a good run and just one mistake that would have had you in there. So.
And you can see that there is actually a lot of option for that gate combination, 9, 10, 11. So we'll have to see. I think we saw a bunch of paddlers either doing a direct, a spin, or even a bogey and having equally really good runs.
So that's what we like, is 3 or 4 places on the course where you have to make a choice, or you can make a choice.
Yeah, and basically what you weigh between what route you're going to take is sort of like how much time you think you need to catch on that piece and how much risk you're willing to take in the final and how much you think it's going to take to win. So,
well, number 1 says it all. Alexander Stavkovsky from Slovakia, who came second last week with all his family there at the same time.
We never see this guy too worried about risk. He's always so smooth, and be interesting to see what happens in gate 10-11 combo coming through 6.
Great overhead shots there by the drone, which is coming into its own this season. Over the bridge.
Really long strokes from Alex, and up half second on the split, so
good stuff.
Opting for the spin, really tight on 10. Crossing over. I think that's a really solid move for a righty paddler coming through there.
Well, so far, would you say faultless? No faults in his run.
Yeah, this is looking pretty much on the pace and chasing after his compatriot on the top spot. They're often neck and neck.
So you can see yourself, if it's green, it means it's good. 0.58 ahead. The poles have calmed down a little bit, so it looks like it's really a fair test.
Here we go, last 3 gates. This is going to be tight.
There's Michael in the small screen. His time was 84.42. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Medalist.
And again, so tight with all the competitor in the same second, the first 4 boats.
Within 0.52 of a second. Yeah.
Clean runs at the top as well.
They say
so.
you're academics. How many centimeters is 0.5 of a second?
Hard to say. I think there was actually
A meter, maybe?
well, maybe less. I think you can make up half a second on the sort of timing yourself at the start beam and at the finish beam.
Next to go is Ryan Wesley, who is the European champion from Great Britain.
It is so hard to exactly pinpoint where you actually lost half a second or even like 0.2 of a second. It's so small.
Ready to cheer on.
I think that we see this course suit Ryan Wesley's style a fair bit. He's quite dynamic, quite on the front of the boat, always pushing the pace with a high turnover of his stroke rate, and such a straight, fast course, and you can cut some lines and go really quick. So
It's not only the athletes who are nervous, it's obviously the British coaches who are nervous because they can do absolutely nothing about it. Ryan coming through the ranks really nicely. Medalled in the World Cup years ago, and just quiet, composed, goes about his business.
yeah, it's
Getting more experience now with the finals.
I think if you're day in, day out in Lee Valley, you know, this sort of water's not going to freak you out, is it?
Yeah.
such a big course, Lee Valley, with so many tricky moves, and this is a little more open. So, wow, really fast through 6. Taking direct option through 7, a little bit of trouble, but pulls it off. Looks clean.
Really in touch with the first split.
Like we've said, those top 4 spots are so tight that actually 0.03 off is going to be really competitive for any position on the podium. Really smooth through 10-11. We didn't even see any hiccup there, so this is looking like a good run coming together.
Ryan Wesley's doing what he does best at the moment. It's a cracking run. Medal last weekend as well. Can it be 3 medals in a row?
Very smooth here.
0.33 just off.
That would put him in
3rd position.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
We've got
Crazy.
the last upstream is going to be on his side and through to the finish, so I think he's able to catch that with a few good strokes. Well, clean, not the fastest up, but see how it comes through.
Just outside.
Oh, wow.
0.66 back in 5th. That's crazy.
We're seeing a lot of fast run in this final.
Must not make much sense when you come through the finish and you're 0.66 off, but you're in 5th rank. I can't imagine.
So a couple of athletes going to have to really run quickly, because I've just seen Marilyn Franklin, Kimberly Woods running down with the other side of the river with Ryan. They'll be doing the same again for David Florence, and in 5 minutes they're due in here in the commentary. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Might be a little out of breath, but really strong athletes, so I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how they get across the river. Anyway, 1 athlete's to go. David Florence, staggeringly fast time in the first round, would have come first. And they are, Alexander Slavkovsky at the moment is in the top position with Michael Jane in 2nd.
Still the only athlete that went under 84 seconds. So we'll have to wait and see if he can pull it off again.
David Florence, twice in the Olympics with Richard Hounsley, who's doing some coaching here now, is medalist, yes, in Rio and in London. Also in, was it 2013 in the Czech Republic, they won the doubles, single and double, in the
sure everyone sitting on the podium right now has just got that little piece of discomfort because this guy went the fastest so far. So let's see. Really tight through 3. Going to be pulling strong all the way down the course.
No one pulls stronger than David Florence.
I think most would agree. Going direct here, nice and tight.
Good start.
Moving fast. You can see when the drone can't quite keep up, he's going well.
Well, really close in touch. So far, leading in the first split.
Very tight on gate 10.
Good cross through 11. Boat's always moving, blades in the water. This is looking good.
The team, the family and friends are having really sprint down the side to keep up with him. They can see them there.
It's going to be it's a long, tense moment from here to gate 22. Just
Well, drop slightly back. It would put him in 3rd or 4th place.
they're just looking to pick it up. Again, it's going to be on his side for that last upstream and into the finish, so he might be able to catch up those 3/10.
Still looking very smooth.
Right, it's all
got a
about
smile.
David. How
Very
much
tight.
effort can he go in the last 15, 20 meters?
Good finish, good turn.
Yeah, he
Oh,
does it.
wow.
He wins. David Florence is back at the top.
Very impressive. 2 strong runs for him today.
Awesome performance. Looks like everyone was right to feel a little uncomfortable sitting up there because this guy went fastest again.
I think you deserve it. It wasn't a fluke that you did an amazing time in the semi-finals and was fractionally 300th of a second faster to take off the
Very
actual,
consistent.
the final. Well done.
Awesome race. I think that with so many competitive GBC1s these days, it's got to be a good feeling to get back on top of the podium.
They're sprinting. The 2 girls are sprinting over here. Kimberly Woods and Mallory Franklin. Don't worry, ladies, we can keep you going. That was a great competition, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not often you see finals that tight, but this course definitely delivers for an exciting race.
I don't think I've seen that before. The first 6 within 0.9 of a second. Here you go, you can see it yourself. So no asterisks, which is good news. David Florence takes it. Alexander Stavkovsky second. Mikaljane, Benes, Savchek and Wesley all within a second.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. And 9 clean runs out of 10 paddlers. Also very impressive.
There's not much you can do about that, is it? You just go, well done.
You know, I
Yeah.
think that's when everyone feels pretty good at the end of the day because it's about putting down your best performance. We saw so many maybe best performances out there and good race.
So just going to have a look at the standings at the moment. Florence and Liam, thank you so much for coming in today. It's been a pleasure, and we'll certainly have you back again. Florence will talk about your expertise in the kayak, and Liam, always great to see you. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Cheers.
So here are the standings now after 2 races, and Slavkovsky is leading with a second and a second. But it's really close next one. It's Wesley, Florence, Benes, Tasiadis, Bozic, Savik, Hedwig, Jolly, Jane, and that is after 2 races of the 5-race season. And I think we're going to go direct and hear from David Florence.
Congratulations, David. How was your race today?
Really couldn't have been any better, to be honest. We had the European Championships not that long ago now, and I won the semi-final, and then I just didn't put in a good run, and it's so disappointing to feel like you're going all right, to put in good races in qualifying or semis, but not to do it when it really counts. So today, especially going off last, to put in another really, really good run, and unfortunately good enough for the win as well. I'm so happy. Really, really pleased with that.
And what was hard on this course today?
Well, it would be quicker to tell you what was easy. The course was a really hard course, I thought. You know, there was hard moves all the way to about, then you had gate 12, 13 where you had a little bit of a break, and then again the bottom you had to be on line everywhere, and the water changed a little, so you had to give slightly longer lines than you expect, and then be ready to tighten if the water's kind to you, and if not, you've got enough room to still deal with it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, if you think that was impressive, I think the most impressive thing I've seen today is Mallory Franklin and Kimberly Woods really legging it from being the other side to being here in about 30 seconds. Well done, ladies.
Thanks. Yeah.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Did you actually know the statistics there? The first 6 within 0.93 of a second.
It's very, very, very tight. But it's awesome to see. It's always exciting when it's that close because they go through the finish line on the same second, but you still have absolutely no idea where they're going to come until it comes up with the position. But yeah, really exciting racing, and really good to have 3 British boats in the final.
Yeah, the advantage of Jill and George Florence is they could say, okay, I'm loyal to my boy, and they only had to run down once. You girls had to run down 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you always see them running down for everyone, so it's really good to have them here and cheering everyone on in the British team and any friendly people that they know.
Anyway, here are the standings after 1 race, and Jess Fox leading, and all top champions. A couple haven't made it through, unfortunately, today. Girls, briefly, your races?
Mine was going well until I got to gate 15, and then failed to get to gate 16. Had a bit of a paddle back, and then paddle back for another gate later on, because apparently didn't like doing the course first time round.
Anyway, we'll ask you in a minute, Kimberly, but these are the finalists who are going to be racing, and they're all capable of medaling, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. We've got some really good boats. We've got Jess, we've got Connie, we've got Fee as well, all the medalists, I think, from the Euros as well. So we've got Steffi on the start line, always capable of getting a medal, and we'll see how she sets off and an early good time.
Yeah, so calm down after the excitement of the C1. This is a final, though. And the course, is it running consistently?
Better than yesterday.
Okay.
I know there was a few troubles yesterday, so hopefully we won't have any more problems. But yeah, I mean, the course is pretty inconsistent in a way, but the gates are in places that makes the course quite tricky, and that's what makes it fun.
We saw we saw 6 and 7. There's choices to be made. Do you make the move before, or the choice before?
Yeah, like I guess you'll probably see quite a few going for a spin in 7, the slightly safer option. But the straight's definitely on. Saw Jess do it in the semis and Connie as well, and yeah, we'll see what happens with the later on girls.
As well as on gate 10 as well, like you might see some people peeling out on the right pole, doing a spin, doing it straight. Like there's so many options on this course, and it'll be really interesting to see what the top girls do. And you saw Steffi there taking the spin option and go really low onto the wave behind it.
Do you have consistency in the GB team, or you each have your own coaches who decide?
We have, so me and Kim have the same coach. Fee's coach is different, although her normal coach isn't here. He had an operation in Liptovsky, so has gone home. But yeah, generally there's like 4 coaches and kind of split across classes a bit.
Steffi seems to be on a alright run. She's pretty solid. Bit stuck in that last little bit stopper there, but she'll look to sprint to finish and finish hard. Pretty good time, I think.
Compared with the semi-finals, it would have put her into 3rd place. So
Yeah, she'd be happy with that.
Karina Kunlikoni was 90.3.
Yeah, that'll be a really good time for the girls to chase down.
Yeah.
So pretty impressive. Fiona Penny has opted out of last weekend and made it straight to the final.
Yeah, I think she had a pretty good semi-final run and quite enjoyed it.
We do have an asterisk next to Stephanie Horn. It looked like she really was close on one of the gates.
Yeah, she really cut the line on the up left on gate 11. So the TV people will be looking into that, and but it looks like the star might have come off, so she looks like she was around the gate. Yeah, they're pretty good with that. Straight away after the run, they always put a star to check over the run and make sure all of the head and part of the boat were around all the gates and there wasn't any sketchy things.
So you know as well as anyone, how is she feeling good?
I think so. I mean, she doesn't really hang around in the team area. She kind of keeps to herself and get changes by the car. And but yeah, she's really strong at the minute. And I mean, you can see world rank number 10. She's been around for years. And it's good to see.
I was told off
she's
by her
still at
mother
the top.
apparently for exaggerating last weekend. We think it's a 19th season.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot of seasons.
A lot. It's like 2 years older than like our youngest team member. It's crazy.
Anyway, great overhead pictures. It's the start of the canoe slalom, just in front of it, and let's see how she goes. Oh, that's not what you want.
No.
That's quite
It's
an early
quite a-
mistake. to
Yeah,
make.
it's quite a tough little stagger that, straight in from the start. See if she can recover from that.
Yeah, we saw quite a lot of penalties going down in the semi-finals, but from the C1 men final there was barely any apart from the person who came 10th, I think. So
All 9 of them went through cleanly, yeah.
yeah, I think it'll be really hard to make the podium with her, but I mean she's strong and there can be a lot of time made up on this course.
Well, there needs to be 3 1/3 seconds back.
That was a pretty nice round there though, opting for the peel out option.
Just gives you a bit more ability to cut 11 a bit tighter and get out.
I think that's a different option than what she chose in her semi-final. I think she chose for the spin, so probably a choice between her and her coach, like reviewing from all the other races.
So for us amateurs, it's great to see the drone pictures. We can actually see the flow.
Yeah, the drone's quite cool actually. Yeah, it gives you a bit of a general scope of everything. I'm just getting a bit stuck around 17.
You know,
Can they?
No, it's cool and it's something that'll have with me forever now, and that's amazing. But the next season there's a new world champion, and I just want to try and be that again and see what happens.
Anything's possible. So there's some of them have these huge, great handy flags that are bigger than themselves. There's Camille Pingeon, who's going to be off in about, well, not long now.
yeah, it's good to see some of the young girls. I think this next girl's under 23 maybe, so it's good to see them really pushing the seniors on.
Mintelev from Slovakia. For us amateurs, if you from Slovakia, you think, she's bound to be good.
Yeah, they've got a very strong base, I think, the Slovaks, with Kliska and Jana there pulling them all along, and yeah, she's in the final, so she must be not that bad.
19. Do you remember when you were 19 years old?
It wasn't that long ago for me, so only 3 years ago.
So Mallory, we had not an argument, but how old were you when you first made the national top level?
When I first, in 2009, I raced the Senior Worlds in C1, and I was 16,
Wow.
I think.
And Kim,
That
you
might be
about the
wrong.
same, weren't you?
When I raced my first,
Yeah.
I think I made the senior team first time in 2012, but my first Worlds, obviously that wasn't a World
Yeah.
year, it was in Prague.
So you're both pretty damn good, damn early.
Yeah, I guess we both paddled from when we were very young, so
Yeah.
been around for a long time.
1.3, so now 3.5 seconds back.
Yeah, I was just about to say she's off a really good start, keeping the boat moving nicely, very nice in and out. It's I was just about to say very nice in and out of there as well, but
Keep going.
yeah, just a few mistakes come in here and there, but she'll look to reset now and finish off really strongly.
So Steffi Horn is looking good on 92.43.
I mean, it was a very good run to start off the kayak women class, and the girls will definitely know what time that is because the commentators are pretty loud here. So they'll know what it is and know what time to chase, and she's cutting really tight there. Oh, it looks like
missed.
she's missed it.
Yeah, it's just really good experience for her to be sat on this kind of start line and just get the experience of being there, and she'll learn on that and grow even more probably.
Yeah, she'll be really happy. I think this might be her first final.
Certainly not last.
No, definitely not. She's growing, like all the girls are growing, the sport's growing, and we'll definitely see it's not just the regular few in the final. Yes, there is with the top 3, top 4 in the world, but there's also the next like 20 boats who can make the final. So it's good to see that all the girls are quite competitive with each other.
And next to go, she's actually doing rather well in the. Is she knitting?
Yeah, Luca seems to be knitting.
Okay, fair enough. Anything you need to keep your
I
concentration?
think it's totally crocheting, isn't it?
Crochet, I think so.
Not,
See,
not a clue.
I don't know.
Seems
Just
like
been
she's
making beanies, I believe.
mending a net or something. Yasmin Schornberg, she's come from nowhere to make top C1 paddler.
Yeah, it's really good to see that she's changed to C1. Maybe she thinks she's got a bit more of a chance to get the Olympic boat in 2 years' time. But yeah, it's really good, and she's got some skills as well. It's really good to see, and it's good to have that kind of paddler go off quite early off, so we can actually watch some really good paddlers go down, and it's really cool to see her in C1.
Good. Well, 2009 world champion in K1 from Seoul, where we'll be going later in the season. So you can always see that. When we're talking about you in 20 years' time, we'll still say probably multiple, but we'll no.
Maybe. We'll see. I might still be paddling in 20 years.
Yes, she goes.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's a really strong paddler, really connected, really opens the lines. She's really smooth as well.
Like Fiona Penny, skipped the first World Cup of the season.
Yeah, and she came out late to here as well. She only came out on Wednesday evening or
Wednesday, yeah.
Thursday, so she's done really well, like, off the back of that.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's going like as quick as the others, but she always seems to put down really quick times, just because she's so smooth and goes around the gates, and she has a really long stroke length as well, which helps. And she's opted for the straight option. Doesn't look like it's pulled off, but she's paddling fight really hard to get into there.
That's just there's this. Is that a conscious decision, or is just the body takes over?
I think you have a plan, and then you kind of see what happens, and if you pop out in a position that isn't going to happen straight, you just pop a spin, and if you pop out high for some reason, you just...
But she was
Go for
backpedaling, wasn't
straight.
she, almost?
Yeah, like that kind of stuff, yeah, you instinctively do whatever to try and get back to the gate. And yeah, sometimes it involves paddling back, sometimes you can sort it out before you can past it.
3 seconds off there, so it's going to be not unless something amazing happens in the second half.
Looks
She
like
just picked up a touch.
yeah.
Yeah. Looks like it might rain soon. Suddenly the humidity's coming up.
Hopefully not. Fingers crossed.
What do you girls do this afternoon? You go on the water again?
I won't know. I'm pretty tired. Maybe see the physio, maybe not. But rest up, watch some video of the C1m. I mean, they absolutely smashed it today. So have a look at some of the switches, because there's quite a few these days this year. So have a look at that, and hopefully we'll make a good plan for tomorrow.
Well, it was always clear from the first great problem that it was never going to happen.
Yeah, she's not happy with that.
Yasmin Schornberg made the final, though. Keep saying. So, 4 athletes going, and Steffi Horn was the first to go. Just coffee over herself. That'll teach you.
You know, she's in a comfortable position with a 92. That's really good. Like I've said before, for the girls to chase down, and then there's almost a 5-second gap, so there's a lot of room for the girls to fit in.
Next dangerous client, we have local knowledge. Natalia. I always crucify her name. How would you call her?
Pasiepnik, I
It's
believe.
fair than me. I don't even try.
I believe it's Pasiepnik, but...
I've been
I
trying
think
for
that's
years, since the Olympics in 2012, and every year I do a different name.
Although I guess... Yeah,
Pasiepnik, yeah.
Yeah, she's always next to me in the rankings, so I'm either before or just after her. And even from the heats as well, she went in just after me. So we always know when we're going off.
Good. So little insider tricks that we don't hear from outside. World ranking 18. So where are you? 17 or 19?
19,
I'm sure that'll go up though.
hopefully. Yeah, local knowledge will definitely help her here.
I think though Krakow is one of those, it surges so much that even if you kind of think you know what's going to happen, it will change within a second, so nice first upstream.
Yeah, it's looking really smooth, really watching the high poles. See what she chooses here. Gone for the straight, really nice.
Nicely done.
Yeah, she's
Coming
looking really
really
strong.
So it's the first time you're watching. There's 3 types of cameras. There's the drone, which is going up and down. There's little cameras which are going on some of the up gates.
Oh,
And there's about 10 cameramen who are really, and women, You were really concentrating all day, so bravo, well done to all those.
Yeah, especially in all types of weather as well, when it's really, really hot, when it's pouring it down with rain. Yeah, gotta put my hands up to them.
But we have a lovely barbecue every night, so that works out. Anyway, she's putting forward a great time.
Yeah, she was just over a second up on the first split, but she did make a little bit of an error, so probably lost that.
Given a 50. Did
I
you
guess
see
I think she double passaged it, but by half heading it. So I guess it's one of those like semi-complicated ones. I think she probably half headed it on her way back above it. So
It'll be one of them that they'll look at for quite some time and then all agree, which they probably have done already.
I think she.
And if any athletes are out there, you're all welcome to come and have a look behind the scenes anytime you want to. Come and have a look, and we'll show you how the judging's done.
That'd be cool.
So goes in the 5th position, which will please, not in the personal but in a professional way, some of the other athletes, because a dangerous.
I think if she had that 50 off, she'd be in 3rd. No,
What?
she'd only be one place higher. It just proves how tight it is.
He wants an opportunity, a bit upset that he can't wave his Polish hand. Hello, you're famous.
I think it's good to have at least one Polish boat in the finals. It gives the home crowd a little bit of hope.
Oh, desperate so. Well, she has an asterisk, as you mentioned,
yeah,
probably.
there you go. I think
Up, down, not
I
quite
think she
sure.
just managed to get ahead the other side of it, and then
This might be a better
got
view.
caught up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it just proves how inconsistent and how boily the water is. Like even for a person who paddles here all the time, you think in one place and all of a sudden it surges and you can end up 5 meters away from it.
Next to go, the first of 2 Frenches. So while some two Frenches in the final.
Yeah, and the 2 youngest ones, I think.
Yeah, probably not the
really
two French boats that you'd normally see in the final.
No, but they both, I think, paddled really well. Lucy was high up in the qualification as well, so.
Stephanie, how was your race today?
It was nice because finally I had a controlled line. I just missed a bit of space in number 10, so I arrived late in 11, but I'm happy with it. And I hope it's enough for maybe place 3 or 4.
And what was the most difficult part for you?
The most difficult part was number 10-11 because I wanted to make it backward. And in the semi-final I had much problems there, so I wanted really to improve there, and yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's a nice touch, is asking the person who's the fastest halfway through. You athletes think that's a good idea? Or?
I think it's a good idea, yeah. It gets a bit more insight to what the athletes are thinking when they're waiting. And normally, sitting in first position, you're kind of like halfway down the field, you have absolutely no idea where it's going to go. I mean, like the top 3 boats still to go with Funk, Fox and Canoe. They're all really consistently at the top, so she'll definitely be on the edge of her seat for when they come down, but we'll have to see what these 2 Frenchies can do.
And so the most famous Frenchie is Emily Fournel. No, it's not. That's
Emily Fair.
Emily Fair. Sorry, Emily Fournel is Canadian. Emily Fair, who apparently uses this to improve her English. So
Oh, wow.
listening in.
Yeah, I remember last week in Liptowski with the C1 women final, Fizarova was a little bit shy to talk halfway through because she doesn't think her English was very good, but she definitely pulled it off pretty well, and she was telling me and Vicky Wolfhart to help her.
I think there is this pressure because we always assume, because it's our first language, that everyone else manages to do it. And I think you've got the intimidating Ross normally, who's asking you great questions. Michelle's doing it this week.
I mean, it scares me anyway, and I can speak English.
You're so much better than before then. Amazing. When we first did it, you hated it the first time you did it. In Cardiff in 2012, when you had to share a microphone, you swore never to come back. And now a regular. Lucy Badu.
Yeah, she's looking really strong this weekend.
So she's quite under the radar, isn't she? She's not like not really outspoken or anything.
No, yeah, she seems quite quiet generally, I think. But she's been around a bit. She was in C1 on the senior team for a while, so I guess she's had the exposure to these kinds of races. But yeah, I think she's kind of coming out of shell a bit in kayak.
I think she had a really good season at selections a couple of years ago when she surprised everyone. I know we were watching we always watch the other national selections, and yeah, she was really strong in that selection series, and she's come back this year. just a second and a half down.
The depth of the French selections is quite intimidating, I guess.
Yeah, it's so tight. And yeah, like in the men as well, it's just, you watch it and you don't really know what's going to happen. You watch a good run and it goes in at like low down, but it's crazy.
I mean, we saw in the men with their Olympic bow not even making the team this year, so I mean, across all the classes, it's always a bit surprising. She's took that pretty tight.
So in touch,
Yeah, made some time up in that middle section.
there's 4 seconds between first and second place, where in the men a few minutes ago we saw 0.93 seconds between first and sixth. So it's a moment. It's Stephanie Horn from Fiona Penny from Yasmin Schornberg.
Yeah, if she keeps this one up, she'll definitely slot in that gap, I reckon.
She seems to know this course pretty well, pretty consistent all through the rounds.
The fact that you haven't really said much about it means it's very smooth
Yeah,
and moves into first place.
yeah, she'll be very happy with that.
Another day at the office is quietly gliding down the course.
Yeah, she's put herself in a really good position now for the next 4 boats. Like, I can't even say who's going to win. Literally have absolutely no idea.
That's where you want it.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so exciting.
There's Colin, one of the most experienced judges out there.
It's known me since I was about this big.
Okay.
Tiny. It's one of the British coaches, one of the British judges. He's yeah.
Very well known.
I think that's the good thing that I see, is that there's a big connection between the whole fraternity of the athletes, the coaches who are mainly ex-athletes, the physios, even the judges are not seen as nasty people.
I mean, they give up their free time to come and judge races. I know in Britain that they're all volunteers, and they take up their free time to help us and like run the races. And we wouldn't be where we were today if it wasn't for those volunteers.
Good said, well said. Any chance of ever seeing you two in the extreme, or you two booked up with your?
I'm always
kayaks
tempted to do it. I did it one year when I think when I turned 21. It was in Tarsen, and it didn't go that well for me, but it was really good fun. And yeah, I know that Camille does it every now and then, and it'll be really good fun. But I think doubling up at the minute it takes a lot out of me at the moment.
When they tried out in Tutson a few years ago, they put them over the big drop, and after 2 people
Yeah.
went horribly wrong, they changed it. Anyway, here's Camille Prinjean from the dynasty, the French dynasty of the Prinjean family.
Yeah.
When you get a Po, every second boat is a Prinjean.
Yeah, no, she's been around for a while now. Had a really successful juniors. I know that she was on the podium with me in 2013 at Liptoski, like at the course we were at last weekend. So, yeah, she's a really good paddler, really, really tiny, but also quite well connected. She's in touch on the first bit.
Wow, could we have a French one too?
We'll have to see the rest of the course goes.
There's a lot left.
Yeah, yeah, we're only at gate 11 now, but she's done that very, very well on the sweep stroke. Yeah, she's gritting her teeth getting the boat up to speed. She's looking really smooth, really quick, keeping the boat moving all the time. That was very nice.
Yeah.
And up on the split.
Yeah, she
It's very close, but up.
I reckon she made a lot of time there on 15.
Yeah, really tight line.
That's good.
This is really fast water
This
down
is,
here.
yeah. It's also a really, really good run for Camille.
Is it fun?
The course,
Yeah.
it's good fun. It's a bit annoying when there's a wave and then there isn't a wave. But I mean,
It's going to be close.
yeah.
So close. Lucy Badu cannot believe her eyes look in the middle.
Yeah, no, Camille was on such a really good run there. Maybe she might have lost a bit of time from that last up to the finish. I know that the water surges so much in that last upstream, so you've got to be really careful whether to go under and make a risk.
Well, Fiona Penny now in 4th place. There's Maria Wegman, who's going to be probably starring in the extreme. Tomorrow.
Yeah, it's good fun watching that. It's absolute carnage.
It terrifies me. I don't think I'd do it because I'm too scared.
Well, we're talking to Sage Donnelly, who won last weekend, and I said that, are the athletes intimidated by you? She said maybe a little bit, because I'm used to scruffing it with the best.
Yeah, well, you never really know how people are going to be. Like, you think you know someone, but when you see them do the extreme course, they could be absolutely savage, and you're like, whoa, haven't seen this side to you.
3 athletes left, and they're absolute flyers. I'm not sure there's anyone, not disrespect to you two, but these are very fast.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Like, I mean, they are on a completely different level when they are like at their best.
I saw Ricky Funk after her semi. She was really in the zone.
She was probably really focused about what was happening in her semi-final and what she could do better about her final, and we'll see if she can make a couple of improvements.
So last year had a stunning season. That's why she's number 1.
Yeah, no, she was on the podium for every single World Cup, I think. She came 3rd in Prague with Mylin taking that win, and then won every other one after that.
But she did the same in the semi-final, didn't she? Took out an early gate.
Yeah, not the best of starts that you'd want, but I mean she's quick.
Caught it up again.
Yeah. Yeah, taking another touch there. It's not
Cutting it a bit too tight,
Yeah.
but she's definitely got the speed.
Well, she's won before. I think it was in Prague last year. She had a couple and came through one.
She can be really quick when she gets going.
What makes it so quick there? She's obviously light.
Yeah, very light and very strong.
Yeah, she's very connected at the front as well, I think. She knows like where to put her blades.
Look at making time up.
I mean, yeah,
You weren't even disgusted. You were just like, okay, fair enough.
yeah. Well, that's it. Like, you know that she's got the speed, but she'll have to make no errors at the bottom to have a chance now.
Well, there's Sebastian Schubert, Hannes Egner running down and shouting with.
Really nice last touch.
Sideris is also there. She got caught up a little bit.
Yeah, she did. It's not going to be enough, but without the penalties, she'd definitely be ahead. Look at that. I mean, less than 2 seconds and 2 touches. She'd be absolutely good with that.
Lucy Badet has a medal.
Wow, that's like it's. I mean, you can tell with her paddling on this course, she's really comfortable. So she'd be really happy to make a final for starters, but then also to have a medal, probably her first medal. Yeah, no, she'll be really happy with that.
2 athletes to go. Jess Fox, a bit surprising to see her go so early in the semi-final.
Yeah, I mean, like the semi-finals were really tight. The heats were really tight. Sorry. And you saw her like not really finding a groove. Like she was a little bit offline here and there, but like the type of paddler she is, she can easily like make up time where she needs to. And but I don't think that phases her out at all. She's well experienced, and no matter where she goes
as we
off.
certainly won't have you tomorrow on the commentary for the C1. What do you think of her run last week?
It's one of them. It's you kind of look at it. Oh, okay. Like, it's kind of like the reactions that we've had when Funk was going down then when she's touching, but she's still very in touch with the split. It's like what can you do about it? Like it's just absolutely world class, the runs that she puts down. It's like,
Mallory, she won by 7 seconds last week.
Yeah, her run was really good. Like everything was just solid. And yeah, I think that she just shows how consistent she can be, just constantly putting the boat in the right place and staying off the poles and keeps the boat moving and slowly picks up time throughout the run. And it's
and K1w as well in both classes.
But you're the world champion.
mental.
Anyway, let's see. Let's see how she goes today.
Yeah, she's pretty strong in both classes, and yeah, focusing on the kayak now. She's off to a really good start, and she'll look to probably go straight.
She went straight in the semis, so I expect she will again. Quite.
Yeah. It's so boily there, like you can tell with her, like she's strong, but with the boils you can't really do much with her.
That was a bit close.
Yeah.
Well, third of a second up so far, so nothing dramatic.
No, considering her straight wasn't that great, it's really good to see that she's actually up on the split. Very turned back on herself there and having to paddle through the eddy.
Does the boat keep stalling almost?
Sometimes, but I think she's really a lot strong. Very strong to actually pick it back up again.
We can see all that to go. It's nowhere near finished yet.
Gonna be up on this split.
Yeah.
1.26 up.
It's good.
I think Lucy's probably sitting there a bit nervous, but also knowing that it's Jess, so she won't be too down about the fact that Jess
Not
is
much
up.
you can do.
See her sister running down the bank after her.
She was doing homework this morning.
Oh, wow.
Good effort. She's got some exams
Wow,
coming up.
This is going to be quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First place, 0.89. Well done, Jess Fox. Won last week.
Yeah.
Wow, 1 to go. Kunle is not the most consistent.
No, her semi-final run was the quickest run so far, though. So let's just see if she can replicate that. But I think she just needs to keep it calm and just.
Khabib has been kicked off the podium.
But she's still smiling. It's good to see the girls in the final in that start line. So she'll be really happy to be there. Hopefully, just joking about the tier.
So far, Fox has a medal, Bardu has a medal. Maybe Stephanie Horn, who spilled her coffee. She was so excited a while ago. She's first down, first last to go. And Karina Kunle, last to go in the K1 final from Krakow.
Yeah, another really strong paddler. She'll probably look to put a marker down similar to her first run. See if she can do what Dave Florence did in the C1 men.
Last to go. Look at that, double world champion.
I mean, we saw her in Liptovsky last week in the semis, her paddling back but still making the final. Cutting lines a bit. Yeah, very smooth.
That was quick.
That was very quick.
I think we should have a camera on you guys.
No. Oh, she's getting a bit stuck in gate 7.
Yeah. That's a couple of seconds back.
Yeah, she probably was looking for the straight but wasn't in position to, and she started the spin, but she was a bit too high.
2.83 back, and Jess Fox didn't do that much wrong at the end, did she?
No, not at all. Jess was really good on the bottom half.
No, it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, not ideal. But I mean, she is very, very strong.
Can she pull back 4 seconds in the last second half?
So it looks like she's got a touch.
Yep,
Didn't see that, but... Oh, and gate 2.
No, it's not going to happen. So it looks like Jess Fox, Lucy Badu and Stephanie Horn are going to be the medalists.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be very, very hard for Connie to pull 7 seconds back now.
No, it's not going to happen.
But she'll look to finish strong and finish as high as she can. Yeah, looks like Jess is taking 2 wins now in the kayak, and she'll definitely probably want to replicate that in C1 tomorrow, but obviously we'll try and,
But I'm sure
stop that.
certainly you have the armory to do it. Whether you have the luck and the good
Yeah.
fortune tomorrow, I don't know, but you certainly have everything that needs to be done.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something though, she gives the most amazing interview every
She's
time.
very
She's
well trained, I bet.
She's done a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's had a lot of first place and a lot of interviews, so I guess just with experience you get better with it. Just
Well,
like a lot of
she's gone up
things.
because last week someone was quoting that she has a 65% win ratio, so it's probably gone up to 66 now.
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's quite crazy. I think it was like 70 something for medaling. So
Yeah.
like it's just crazy. So consistent.
It's good to see though. It's a really good role model.
I think you all are, to be fair. You know, you 2 minutes. I could call you up and say, "Would you mind coming and doing a bit of commentating?" It's like, "Yeah, great." And then you sprint down and saw Debbie Florence sprint over here. No, it's good for us. Anyway, here's the classification today. Jess Fox takes the gold for Australia. Lucy Badu silver for France. Stephanie Horn the bronze for Italy. Right. Let's
Yeah,
listen
it's
to
really
Jess.
good.
Congratulations, Jessica. How was your race today?
Thank you. It was such a difficult course and quite hard on the arms, and I didn't go as fast as my semi-final, but look, clean, tidy, and no major mistakes, and a sprint to the finish, and I'm so thrilled to win again. I can't believe it.
So what did you find difficult on this course?
I think there were a couple of key moves, mainly on the top section, that were quite, there were some options. Some people on gate 9, 10, 11 decided to go spin, decided to go bogey, decided to go direct. There was a lot of time there and an analysis as well. And I chose the bogey option, which wasn't great, but I think the rest of my run was solid and tidy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So you understand everything now, pretty much, so.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what other people call different moves. So we call, like as Jess said, the bogey a peel out, which is where you just go around the outside of the pole like an upstream, but it's a downstream. So yeah, no, it was quite funny though when she said a bogey.
So in
think I've heard
English,
it
I
before.
can't remember. What's a bogey in English? It's the dirty bits up your nose,
Yeah.
basically. That's right. Different linguistic situations. So we'll have the standings in a minute. But thanks so much to Mallory Franklin and Kimberly Woods for stepping up today. I hope you've learned a bit about tomorrow, although you don't need to. You can see where it's going to. So what form tomorrow? You have your semi-finals of the C1.
Yeah, semi-final C1, bit of an earlier start than today. But yeah, there'll be a lot more options because obviously we switch, so there'll be a little less simple than what the C1 men will plan.
Okay. And this afternoon you go and have a bit of a chill, bit of a massage, watch a film, go to bed early.
Maybe go do some shopping, but we'll have to see.
Krakow is actually
just
stunning,
chill out.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, like we're staying in the centre, so there's just a few minutes walk from the Market Square, which is really pretty, and just go and hang out there and chill out a bit.
So if you've never been here, come and visit. So it's a great place, and I think we're going to have the overall standings in a minute. This is after 2 events, 60 points for the win, and it's a staggered point. Then we go next weekend to Augsburg in Germany, which is the Ice Canal, where the 72 Olympics were, I believe. So it's a great. Do you like the Ice Canal?
I don't like it in the way it's really. I love to train on it. Absolutely love to train on it, but.
Yeah, I love it. I've raced there and I've paddled since I was little. I really, really like it.
Good, we'll have to see. Let's have a look at the World Cup standings then. As if by magic. Jess Fox, 120, 2 out of 2. Kimberly Woods in there. Yes, Kimberly, you almost guaranteed a victory next time.
Yeah, and I'll come 12th at both World Cups, so it's really good to see my name in the top 10.
Right.
But obviously, Jess taking 2 wins, very up there. Got a long way to go.
Yeah, a long season there. So you can actually really see the course. We're going to take a bit of a break now. And tomorrow we have the excitement of the K1 men and the C1 women. As I say, Mallory, Kimberly, thanks so much for coming in, and catch up with you in the next 24 hours. Remember, social media is always willing to hear from you. Lots of articles, lots of pictures, lots of videos. Keep safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you very much.